So I did something crazy. It is only 1 day and 2 hours away.
Drew Maynard.
Drew Maynard.
Smiles.
I was asked if I could build an 8-foot-long model of the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, with iconic buildings, moving parks, and landscapes in under 2 months to be put on display in the largest bricks minifigs in the world on October 5th for their grand opening.
I'm gonna get one of the congressman right here real quick since I got here.
Come on, Drew. I wish this.
They asked me if I could do it, and I said, man, I guess so. All right, we're going out for the ribbon cutting.
Howdy friends and neighbors, Cowboy Kyle here, broadcasting live. Yep, we are here at the brand new grand opening, the largest bricks and minifig store ever. Authorized Lego dealer that's specializing in new and used Lego items. And they also buy, sell, and trade all Lego products, ensuring that all fans of all ages can find their perfect pieces. And we have a super cool guest with us, Drew Maynard from season 3 of Lego Masters is with us. Drew, thanks so much for coming to Chattanooga today.
Yeah, of course, I'm super glad to be here. It's been awesome. Radio stuff.
Lego Levi collaboration.
That's a thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a thing. But yeah, you can find it somewhere.
That's dope.
But it came with the patches and everything.
What?
Hey everyone, Personal Bricks here. We're here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for the grand opening of Bricks and Minifigs. This is the largest bricks and minifigs in the world, so let's go check it out.
How long have you been doing Lego?
I mean, since I was like 4.
Okay, yep, that's about the same here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I would really kind of want the Mona Lisa. Like walk around this. I really could sneak by.
Hay's for horses, grass is greener. You shit them by your farmer, you get all 3.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, try to get some space here.
So far, everyone keeps looking at that Concorde.
Wow.
And no one's buying it, but they gotta buy it. Buy it, please.
I want the Nintendo.
Buy it, buy it, buy
Any
it.
kind of discount for people who build the Lego models that go on display in the store? Like maybe it's like free for me? You know?
Bye.
Damn it. No, I can't swear.
Have fun.
Ooh, did the pyramid one? Okay. If you want a lot of germs, just touch that tub. It's been touched by 1,000 liquids. Don't do it. Don't do it.
TIE fighters have been super popular. I'm almost out of all my Grogu. There's about a good 10 to 15 of them. I have 3. Yeah.
A lot of Grogu. Anakin has tall legs. Does it have to be a close-up of my face the whole time?
Yep. Here we are. We have arrived.
You're just gonna film me walking?
Pretty much, yeah.
We have Julia's Corner for kids with special needs like autism and Down syndrome, so we're really focusing on that.
Duplo base plate.
They moved into the Volkswagen bus and the display case. I do really want that one. It's only like $80.
The most popular thing is Ninjago dragons. We sold the 3 that we had. 2 blue dragons and the Overlord's dragon, the purple one. We somehow sold a Minecraft Alex and not a Golden Ninja.
You sold them. Who's buying a Minecraft Alex?
Probably little kids. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Lights up.
Pizza!
Yeah. Yeah, dive on in. Meat lovers. It's crazy out there.
Nature has to go to Earlinger. Two people who do stuff like that.
Having a very serious conversation here. She was mad that she had to pay. she was mad that she had to pay $8 for like 2 little bricks. I was like, I could refund you, and she was like, no, I want it. I just don't want to pay $8 for it. And I was like, I can't do anything then.
Keep quashing, bro. It's when you quash them waves, man, you know?
I'd be embarrassed if I were you.
Be embarrassed? Like, dude.
Grand opening of Bricks Minifigs, I built the skyline of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's on display here. I'm from Idaho, and so we had to transport it all the way across the U.S. to get it here, but I'm super excited.
And how was the process of building that?
It was a lot of fun. I talked to a lot of local Chattanooga residents to figure out like what builds I should make, what ones were the most iconic, and just took a long time building them to make sure I could get them right. So.
All right.
Brick by brick, this beautiful place came together. Reporting live in Chattanooga, I'm Robert Hanley, News 12.
How'd you guys get into bricks and minifigs?
Okay, so my brother Raymond and I, back in 2016, were doing leather superhero masks at the Salt Lake City Comic Con. So Fanex, I guess now is what they call it. And Ammon had been bit by the Lego bug recently, and so he was looking for some stuff for his kids. I went into the Bricks Minifigs booth up there at the con, bought some minifigs. Super impressed that they had real, authentic Lego when a lot of the booths around had fake stuff and knockoffs that were, cheaper, but were falling apart and didn't really work. As he was sitting there thinking about it, like, we've been looking for opportunities for something to come up with a place that we could have our kids work. We'd both grown up working in our family business, and it was a really good experience. We felt like taught us how to work hard. He came and pitched me the idea of opening up a Bricks and Minifigs franchise in Orem. The franchise had been around for about 6-7 years at that point, based up in Portland area. We reached out and opened up our store there in Orem, and then about a year later got involved on the corporate side of things, moved headquarters to Provo, Utah, and that's kind of how it all came to be.
That's sweet.
Short and sweet.
Just people that were passionate about Lego, fell into Lego. I like to hear it.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
So what's your association with Bricks and Minifigs?
I'm the unit support manager over at corporate.
Nice. So what do you do?
I help manage stores once they're open, make sure that they're all happy, that everything's running smoothly.
Nice. You like your job?
I love my job, actually.
Heck yeah, dude. That's the best to hear.
Yeah.
What do you think about today's store opening?
I think it's great. The store looks amazing. They did a fantastic job getting everything looking right, so it looks great.
Nice.
Lots of people.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You too. Excuse me, man. Here, let me get that for you.
Hello, man. We are at the raceway.
Oh!
We've already had several cars run today. For those who don't know, I'm Corey. How you doing? I'm the master of the raceway today. We've had several races today. I've raced a few times. I love the hat. He wants to give you a high five because he loves the hat.
That's okay.
In fact, I've even raced a little bit myself today. Here's mine. My car has actually, believe it or not, been beat twice already today out of about 25 races.
Holy cow.
So, but the ones that beat me were awesome. This young man he got first place, which was great. It was awesome. Good run. We actually had somebody build a pickup truck, and it actually won the race.
No way.
Yes, it went 2:4:06.
Is that fast?
Yes.
You want to give me a demonstration? I'm not sure.
Absolutely. Whose car is that? That's your car, right? Yeah. What's your name? Lance. All right, Lance, you're gonna run against my car. You ready? Okay. Hopefully, Lance, you will be the third person to beat me today. So I'm gonna go on the inside lane. Don't have to be outside because that's the master of ceremonies lane. Oh, we got a sprint to go. There we go. All right, here we go. This will be the master of ceremonies race. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Woo! Look at that! Oh! That right there is our fastest car so far today. 2.30. Good
job, dude.
Fastest car so far today. Hope y'all enjoyed the race.
Hey everyone, Personal Bricks here, aka Drew Maynard from Lego Masters, and today I'm going to show you my Chattanooga, Tennessee build that I made. It's on display in Bricks Minifigs in Chattanooga, Tennessee permanently, so come check it out if you get a chance. But today I'm going to be going through the entire build, details about it, how we got it here, what the building process was like, and you'll see all of that in this video. So the first thing I'd like to start out with is how it actually came to be. So my sister worked for Bricks Minifigs, and she had met the people who were trying to open this store, Michael and John, and she told them to reach out to me about building a custom thing like this for them. And so the process was, it was kind of in depth, and it started with this thing I'm holding here. This is the mini model of what I presented to them. So they wanted an idea of what this build would look like. So I built this tiny version. I said, picture that, but a lot bigger. And so this is kind of the beginning right here. So it started with this, and as time went on, I was able to pull this off and build it all in time. So that was the trickiest part, is they told me about this in July of this year, and I got the green light to go ahead and start building on August 1st. And so I built this in under 2 months so it could get here in time. And it's kind of a miracle I was able to build it that fast, to be honest. A lot of stuff like this would normally take me months and months longer to build. So I'm really glad I was able to pull it off. And it looks great, and I'm really happy with it. But we'll go through the whole building process and what that looked like. So come on inside here, come see everything. So I had never been to Chattanooga, Tennessee before I started building this. So I researched everything online, Google Images, Google Maps, Street View, anything I could find to look at all the buildings, to pick the right colors, to pick where I wanted to put them. And it was kind of a tricky process. But now, since I built this and delivered it here, we actually got a chance to go and see a lot of these buildings, which is pretty cool. So we'll start off just going this way. First, we have the train station. So one of the things Chattanooga is most famous for is a song called the Chattanooga Choo Choo. And so the train station's a really pivotal part of Chattanooga, and so I'm really happy with how it looks. The real train station has a lot going on in it, and that was pretty cool to see it in person. I built the Choo Choo sign, which is very iconic, I've heard. And of course we have the train, which you'll see it running later in this video, but I thought I'd point it out for now. The first little Easter egg we have is right here. So there's kind of these two Civil War guys in the cannon here. There's a lot of Civil War history in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And while I was building this, I was researching as much as I could find out about the area, and I decided to sit down and take a break and watch The Hateful Eight, a Quentin Tarantino film. And two characters in the movie, Samuel Jackson's character and Kurt Russell's character, mentioned that they actually met in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
We talked about this in Chattanooga.
And that's where they read Samuel Jackson's letter from Abraham Lincoln. And so I knew I had to include them in the build, and that's kind of an obscure reference, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun. And then I guess the other Quentin Tarantino reference is behind the train station here. I kind of forgot about it. That's the bride from Kill Bill fighting off some of the gang members. So I don't know why. I just thought it'd be fun to include as many movie Easter eggs as I could inside the build. So that is the first major building, is the train station. And next up, I'm sure you saw it, the Lookout Stadium with the Chattanooga Lookouts, the baseball team. I had never built a sports field out of Lego before. Luckily, my brother-in-law Lincoln helped me out with this, which I really appreciated. But we have things like the foul poles. We have all the bases, of course, the net behind with the catcher, and we have the scoreboard, of course, which really another fun Easter egg is the home team has scored 4-2-3, which is actually the area code of Chattanooga. And there's also the Lookouts logo there and a Coca-Cola logo, because Coca-Cola is very big here. But there's, of course, full audience inside of the baseball field, and it was really fun to capture, the excitement of a baseball game in Lego. And you can see things like the ball flying through the air. There's, of course, all the stadium lights, which you'll see at night, which looks pretty awesome. And that's a pretty good segue into what's behind the baseball stadium. This is the Tivoli Theater. So Fun fact, they told me all the buildings that I should build along the way, along the process. But one they never mentioned was the Tivoli Theater. And so I had a little bit of extra room in the building and I decided I should build that theater. It looks pretty cool. But apparently the Tivoli is huge here. It's a big deal. And so it was fun to include this theater. And a fun Easter egg on that is on the atrium there, it says play well with a date there. And that is actually the date that Lego was created, and play well is what Lego means in, I think, Danish or Dutch. I don't know, I don't speak them. But that was another really fun building to include, and a real life building you can come see here. And the one right next to it is also very iconic. That is the Gold Dome building. This is a pretty old historic building, and of course the main thing that people know is the Gold Dome. And so it's kind of a corner building, and that was a really fun one to get in Lego. I think it looks pretty good. I've seen the real building now, and I'm very happy with it. And one thing I should mention, and this is a really good example of an integral building process I had to do with this. I'm pretty used to building skyscrapers and building buildings, but with this build it was very difficult because they wanted a moving train going throughout the build. And what this meant is Lego train tracks take up a lot of space to get these turns, and so I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of room for the actual buildings. I knew it would be more focused on the train track. And so that was really tricky, but what I figured out is I could build an entire back tunnel for the build and build the buildings over that tunnel. So the dome building is a very good example. You see that it's more of a facade, it's more the face of the building, and then the majority of the building actually goes over the tunnels themselves. And I think once I figured out how I was going to do that, how I was going to have the tunnel and incorporate the buildings on top of it, it was pretty smooth sailing from there. And I think it looks really good. It gives it a 3D element when you're looking head on at the build. It looks like there's full buildings all around, even though there's really not. So that was probably one of the trickiest things about building this whole model, was building all around the train tunnel. Next to the dome building, we have the Tennessee Aquarium. This is probably the most iconic building in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The aquarium has two buildings actually. This I think is the River Journey building, if I'm not mistaken, and that's the Ocean building. So it's these two small ones here. And this was one of the trickiest things to build out of the entire build. The main reason why is it's not very blocky. There's a lot of curves and shape to this building, so a lot of triangles. And so I had to use a lot of hinge pieces. All the main walls are built on hinges, and it creates this very cool shape. It doesn't look blocky at all. I'm really happy with how it looked. And of course, the other tricky part was the glass triangles on top. So those triangles are really tricky to figure out how I was going to make them, because it's such an interesting look in real life, and capturing that in Lego is not easy. But I decided to use these clear bricks and just build them block by block until you had this sort of triangle look for all of them. And so all the shapes are very accurate to what you see on the real aquarium, and the lighting is very cool on the aquarium at night. I think that's one that I'm probably the most happiest with. But cool details around the aquarium. You have a painter who's painting the aquarium, which was a fun detail we decided to add. You've got this whole park here, which there is a big park in front of the aquarium. You've got people having picnics. You've got someone late to a baseball game, people on the bench, just people walking around. And another movie Easter egg, you probably already spotted it, is Jules and Vincent from Pulp Fiction.
We happy? Yeah, we happy.
They're in the back. And again, I don't know why I decided to include so many Quentin Tarantino references, but I just thought it'd be a lot of fun. There's people playing music, scuba divers, lots going on in front of the aquarium. That is a very central place in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And next we'll move on to the smaller aquarium building. So this is the one you see that has the shark on the front of it. So like I said, that is the main building, and there's also a second one. So very different look for being two aquarium buildings. There are different colors. You still have the tan in the second one, but I use this kind of lighter, I forgot what it's called, nougat color maybe, and I think it works out pretty well. There's just a big difference between the two, and I'm really happy with how it looks. It's a little more modern, I feel like, than the main aquarium. But they do have sharks in the real one apparently. We might be going there later today, so it'll be a lot of fun. But similar look with the glass triangles on top, just different shapes. And behind the aquarium is the Earlinger Building. So the people who own this Bricks and Minifigs store, they actually all work for Earlinger. They're different types of doctors. And so when they were telling me about this build and all the buildings I should include, they told me I could do the Earlinger in the very back, kind of more as an Easter egg, but I knew I wanted to include it as a full building. I thought it would be very cool for people to come in and say, oh, I wonder why you decided to build the Earlinger. Then they would be able to say, oh, well, it's actually because we work there. That was a pretty cool one to build. It's dark red, it's very modern, and the logo's on there. My sister-in-law, Hallie, she actually was able to use, I think, like a Cricut printer. I don't really know how that stuff works, but made the Earlinger logo on the front and on the sides of it. And this one also looks very cool at night. We were able to see the real thing, and I think I did a pretty good job. It looks pretty accurate. So Earlinger is a really fun kind of Easter egg to the people that own the store, an homage to them and where they came from, what they did before this. So I'm really happy with the Earlinger building. And moving on, next to the Earlinger, we have the Old Stone Church. So weirdly, this one really excited me. This was the first one I built. So before I even ordered pieces for everything else, I decided to build this building. And it's pretty cool. It's got this kind of old Gothic look. It's very mossy looking. And there are some cool techniques in this. One that I really like is how there's some slight offsets to get shapes of real life things you see on the actual building. So this building I think is pretty accurate and is one of my favorites throughout the whole build. This and the aquarium are probably my favorite builds I was able to do. In front of the Earlinger building, in front of the Old Stone Church and the aquarium, we have the Delta Queen on the water. So this is the steamboat. I've heard from a lot of people it's not actually here in Chattanooga anymore, it's in Louisiana somewhere. But it's very iconic to this area, and a lot of people said they loved this inclusion as opposed to the Southern Belle, but I'm pretty happy with it. The main struggle, there were two, was getting the letters on the Delta Queen. I've not built a lot of letters out of Lego, but getting these to look right was pretty tricky for me, and I'm pretty happy with the techniques I used and was able to get for that. But it looks like a steamboat, I'm pretty happy with it. The other tricky part was the spinning wheel. So you'll see this at the end of the video. The wheel actually spins, like it's paddling it along the water. And I haven't really done a whole lot of moving elements in Lego, and that was one they told me I needed was the moving train and the moving paddle on the Delta Queen. So we were able to do it. It looks pretty awesome. I'm excited for you guys to see that later. Delta Queen was just a really fun inclusion, and it was different than anything else I'd really built before. Next we have the Walnut Street Bridge. This was another tricky one to build. I've built some bridges in Lego, mainly ones for New York City, but this one had this really unique girder thing that was blue all throughout it. And so I was trying to figure out ways I could get that in Lego, and the answer came with these big pieces here. So I'll admit, we did something that some Lego purists would maybe not love. We painted these pieces. So they only come, I believe, in light bluish gray and bright orange. So what we did is we painted every one of these big girder pieces to be this Lego blue. And it looks exactly like the same color as Lego blue, so I think it worked out pretty well. And so once I knew that we were gonna have those pieces, building the bridge was pretty easy. It's a walking bridge in real life, cars don't drive across this, so we have tons of people on there, and I think it looks like a lot of fun. The lighting on this bridge is very good at night, and yeah, I think the color is very accurate. I know they're redoing this bridge in real life pretty soon, so I don't know if it'll stay the same color or not, but I'm pretty happy with the Lego version, and I think it looks very good. Moving on, you can also see the other train tunnels on that side of the build, and we have another Coke logo there. And one thing I didn't want to skip over, this is kind of a generic building in the background, but someone told us it looks like a real building here. But the fun inclusion was the Wi-Fi logo on the top of the building. So Chattanooga, Tennessee apparently has some of the fastest internet in the world, so I wanted to include that in some way, so I just decided to put a Wi-Fi logo there. The other movie reference you'll see in the build is right here, and this is to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, but you have the ending of the movie, spoilers, with Brad Pitt being loaded into the ambulance, and you have Cliff and Rick there talking, probably saying, "You're a good friend, Cliff." And Cliff saying, "I tried." That was another really fun inclusion. Again, I don't know why they're all Quentin Tarantino. I think I watched a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies right before he came here, so it was very, very fun to include. And then you'll see on the very edge of the build, this is actually how the train is controlled. So this is an old, I can't remember if it's 9 volt or 12 volt, I think it's 9 volt battery system. So the tracks are metal, and there's actually a transformer in the train that moves and connects to this. So it's a lot better than using a battery pack with a little control, because I knew it'd be on display and they'd really just want to turn it on and have it going. So turn this dial, the train starts moving. You'll see it come out of this tunnel here in a second. And there it goes. And I'll let you follow the train for a minute here while I talk about the train itself. So the base of the train is the Disneyland train set. And the reasoning for that is it looks almost identical to the actual Chattanooga choo-choo that you see in real life. And so once I knew that, I bought that train and I used it as a base, but I actually modified it quite a bit to get the colors a little more accurate on the front of it, and added on an entire train car that's pretty accurate to what you see in the real thing. So the Chattanooga choo-choo, probably the most iconic part about Chattanooga, Tennessee in my opinion, and the real one does not move like this, it's stationary, so I think a lot of people love coming in and seeing the moving Chattanooga choo-choo, having the train station, having all these iconic buildings around. So the train was very fun to include, and I think looks pretty awesome. So below my build here, we have these couple cubbies, and in each of them is something that's very iconic to Chattanooga. So this one, they have a tow truck, and I guess the reason why is there's a lot of tow trucks produced in Chattanooga. I think they were first made here, and they're still majority of them are made here. So this is actually set, I didn't build this, but we'll move forward. And next up we have the Coca-Cola bottle. So Coca-Cola's main glass bottle manufacturing plant is here in Chattanooga. So Coca-Cola actually provided this bottle here, and then I built a Lego version of it. And building a Lego version of a bottle is pretty tough. I think once you build like a foot tall one, you're able to capture a lot more detail, but building one closer to the scale was actually very tricky. And again, my sister-in-law helped out and printed a Coca-Cola logo there. But what's very cool is this is actually officially approved by Coca-Cola. So the owners of the store met with Coca-Cola and made sure they had permission to make a Lego version of Coke with the official logo. So as far as I know, this is one of the first couple, or I don't know how many are out there, but this is officially Coca-Cola approved, which I think is pretty awesome. So that is on the build here, and then we also have the mini model that I built, which I decided to leave here and have below. We have some other very iconic things in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So on the left you have the moon pies, and so I built just a pretty standard moon pie. They're like a little chocolate, little cake type thing, so pretty simple build there. And then I built a second one that actually has a few bites taken out of it to see the cross section. So it's marshmallow and I think graham cracker and chocolate. So I thought that's pretty fun to have a bit version too. And then you can see the official moon pie logo there. Next up we have Little Debbie. So a lot of Little Debbie's products, I think the majority of them are made here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And the ones I decided to include were some of my favorites. The oatmeal cream pie, which is definitely my favorite out of any of them. You can see what a complete one looks like here. Some fun techniques to get the fluff in the middle. And then you have one that has a bite taken out of it, which again I thought was just a pretty fun thing to do in Lego. Then next up you have the zebra cake. So the zebra cake was probably the trickiest out of these three to make because they're a pretty unique shape that's not really easy to capture in Lego. But I think it looks alright. I'm pretty happy with how that looks, and if you've had a zebra cake, they're pretty good, so I'd go try one out. I'm a little hungry now, even just showing this. Then the last one we have is, of course, the cosmic brownies. So these were the simplest to make, but I think they look pretty good. A lot of people walk in and say, oh, it's cosmic brownies. A lot of people have said I put too many sprinkles on it, and that the real cosmic brownies don't have this many sprinkles. I think it's a good thing because people see this and be like, dang, cosmic brownies sound good. And then they'll go and be disappointed with the real thing and not with my Lego version of it. So I have some of my favorite Little Debbie snacks there. Then the last cubby is actually Volkswagen vehicles. So they have a very large Volkswagen manufacturing plant that me and Ben, my videographer and editor, he's behind the camera right now, we were able to actually go tour the actual Volkswagen plant and see cars being made. And it was very awesome. And here are the Lego versions. I did not make these. But you have a Volkswagen Bug here and a Volkswagen van. And I actually bought, not this exact one, but this same set here in Bricks Minifigs to take home because I thought I needed a Volkswagen van. And I'm very happy with that purchase. So now that we've shown all the things I built, we'll touch on a few more things of the build, and then we'll end off the video by just showing cool shots of the build with everything turned on, everything working, all the lights on. The last thing I really wanted to point out is I actually built these letters that say Chattanooga going across the entire front of the build, which you'll see very closely. And I think that was a cool inclusion. It creates interest in that space where there'd normally just be these light gray bricks, and I'm pretty happy with that. And it actually goes with the mural that you see behind the build. And I guess that'll be the last thing I point out before we get to the end of the video here. The mural of Chattanooga is painted by an artist named Michaela, and I think she did an amazing job. We had this build in my garage for, like I said, almost 2 months, and we had a blue backdrop behind it. But having this amazing painted mural adds so much, and having the Chattanooga letters up there as well, It just looks amazing to me. I think it's perfect how it worked out. She didn't really know what the skyline would look like, and I didn't know what her mural would look like. But you can see birds flying around the Earlinger. Where there's not as many big buildings on the right side of the build, you have the huge mountains in the back. And so I think those two things combined together really makes us feel like a real city. It makes you feel like there's a lot going on. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening to my ramble about the build. It was a lot of fun to build something like this. It took a lot of time on my part, but I think people really love it. People from here seem to love the build, and so it was a lot of fun to do, and it was a really unique thing to be involved in doing something like this. And I have a few more things like this lined up for the future. Actually, a lot more projects, so I'm really excited to show you all those too. If you haven't already, check out our TikTok and our Instagram. We post similar things there that are very fun, and stay tuned for more videos like this.